What's up, everybody? It's your man, damednydc. Two mics up. Welcome to another King's Corner episode where, today we're going to talk about, effective professional communication techniques. I wanted to talk about this because, we're in a time where, we're trying to find our way professionally as a community. And there's ways that we communicate differently. But to be successful as a communicator, I thought it'd be important to go ahead and just kind of talk about it. Take a couple of minutes to sit down and talk about that. So, I want to start off by saying, if you want to be successful, in your career, and when I say career, it doesn't have to be necessarily your 9 to 5. It could be just like this. Hey, you want to be a podcast host. You're an entrepreneur. To be successful, you have to have effective communication. And it's critical, that we learn the skills to become effective in how we communicate, our thoughts, our needs, our desires, talk about our business. It's really important. By doing this, it can really help improve, let's say if you are a business owner, it can improve, the teamwork, communication aspect of your team. It can help reduce conflicts, if you will. Sometimes when we're not speaking clearly, it causes or generates conflict amongst teamworks. So we want to reduce that as much as possible. It helps with collaboration. You create effective communication to where now you both can see and hear each other's points. It helps you to collaborate clearly on projects or tasks or things that, goals that you're trying to achieve collectively as a business or company or as an entrepreneur who has a small team. These all fall in every aspect, just about of what we do every day, even personally. Being effective in your communication is critical to all success. By becoming a better communicator, it'll help you build better relationships. Like I said, it'll also help boost engagement, with your audience. What we're doing here, we're talking and we're communicating. My goal is to help boost engagement. I want you to be engaged with me and what I'm saying and how we can build together. That's really important. By doing this, it also helps, people buy in, to your product, to what it is that you do. So again, this is about creating a chemistry between us. And I'm just trying to communicate this as clearly and effectively as I possibly can. If you understand this, right, effective business communication techniques are also important. You need to be very good at listening. It's one of the most important techniques. Being an active listener means that, you're asking for feedback, you're asking for more, you're asking questions because you're listening. The hardest thing, or one of the hardest things to do, and people don't understand, the reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's twice as hard to listen before you speak. So active listening is really, really important. And I'm going to give you a couple of, things maybe that can help take you to the next level. When you're communicating, you also want to adapt your message to your audience. Like I said, whether it be you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, podcast host, TV host, you want to have or learn how to adapt your communication, your style, your messaging, the way that you deliver, how you do it. It's all about you. You have to adapt to that. Get into a rhythm, get into a feel, and really try to be you in front of your audience and connect. Make it as authentic as possible. If you're talking to, I don't know, your team about safety or about a new policy, they're probably already aware of the problem, right? Most of us that are working in a business or organization, we're already aware of the problems, right? Um, but you can get deeper in the weeds with the execution of details. Um, so when you roll out your policies, you should take a broader approach about how you're going to do this, right? Don't be so narrow. Make it as broad as possible. Explain the purpose of the policy or the changes, whatever it may be, or like this here, rolling out this King's Corner, segment, which I've sat on for a while. I've played around with it, but the goal of King's Corner is to give you more of a personal view of me, to give you more of a personal view of my insights, my thoughts. While our tagline has always been educate, empower, impact. So now this gives me an opportunity by rolling out this segment to engage with an audience to really help give you things that I feel that can help you get better. And at the end of the day, we want to educate you so that you are now taking this education and information, and then you feel empowered now to do something. And when I say empowered to do something, I want you to do something positive that can positively impact our communities at large. So, kind of see how that kind of, you know, goes hand in hand. We're adapting your message to your audience, giving you a broader sense of what we're doing here with this segment. So I hope that makes sense to you. Um, you know, Prepare your message for delivery. I think that's another good point. Prepare the message. Whether you're standing, is your body language. Do you feel invited by looking at me? Do I make you feel comfortable and invited to want to come sit down and hear what I have to say? I think that's very important. Are you making eye contact? And a lot of this too goes both ways. um, when you're in person. In person, you want to make eye contact. You want to stand with your body in a position or a manner that it's inviting, it's welcoming to those in the room around you. You want to create that aura of, yeah, hey, I'm here. I'm accepting your invitation, or I'm sending out an invitation for you to come and talk with me. It's very important. All of these are subtle things, but they're very important. Um, are you making, like I said, eye contact before any communication starts? Whether it's one on one, so at a speech or a conference, um, prepare yourself. This right here, as you see it, has taken time to develop. I've gotten more comfortable sitting in my space and sitting in this place, and I want you to feel the same. So, you can feel this message. You walk away with this message. You take in this message and then develop it for yourself and use it for yourself. Uh, One of the things that I said again, like, be authentic in your communication. And I'm not a big stats person, but I read somewhere, and excuse me, I'm going to read it because I wrote it down. Quantify communications. This was a post. I said somewhere along the lines that 50% um, authentic leaders are 50% more passionate with messages that are 29% more clearer. So again, as I'm talking to you, you see sometimes, up, down, the passion. I want you to see the passion and the energy because I'm passionate about this topic. I'm passionate, and I want you to be able to go ahead and take this topic and use it for yourself by making it clearer. So that post from Quantified Communications really resonates with me. And then I hope that as you begin to grow your style, make it as warm and open as possible. Eye contact, smile, handshake, hello, hey, how are you doing? Um, People want to work with authentic leaders. At the end of the day, there's no other way I can say that. If you're not authentic, a lot of times people don't want to have anything to do with you. They're probably standoffish with you because they do not feel that authentic genuineness coming from you while you're in their space or in their environment. And these vibes are real, people. I'm telling you, these vibes are real. Also, people are more receptive with positive stimuli. So you'll get more receptive. If you're positive and your energy is up, you'll be amazed how you can change someone's negative energy. Because see, when you walk in the room and there's negativity, and I've done it before, look, I'm damn gonna be damn. Come in with the same energy, the same smile, the same. Before you know, people who are negative, and I look at them specifically because I can feel that negative energy. Hey, everything okay? You good today? You know, just that energy and that smile. Be surprised that positive energy will go ahead and make the most negative person want to become engaged because they can't help. They can't deny that feel. It's real. By using these techniques, though, you know, people too are also more likely to listen to what you're saying and buy into what you're selling. If you're a business owner or entrepreneur, they're more than likely to go ahead and take an interest. Trust me, give it a try. Manage your nonverbal, you know, signals to help control the message. You know, they say that out of 55% of communication is nonverbal. So nonverbal is this. Okay, I'm looking at you, I'm smiling at you, I'm standing in a manner that my arms are open wide. I'm not standing here. See, if I stand here with my arms crossed and my face screwed, nobody wants to be bothered with that. Nobody wants to touch that. You know, so 55% of communication is nonverbal, 38 is verbal. See the difference? While only 7% consist of spoken word. So just being in a room, being open, standing, smiling, all that nonverbal is being picked up on by other people in the room. 7% though, after that, 7% of that connection becomes spoken word. That's pretty amazing and pretty awesome. So just let that sink in. And what that means is it's incredibly important to manage your nonverbal signals in a setting. That's really what gets you in the door. I mean, look, let's be honest. It's like dating. The first thing that people see is you. You haven't said a word. You haven't had an introduction. You don't even know this person. But the first thing that they're attracted to is you, right? So that means your nonverbal cues, how you're dressed, how you're presenting yourself, how you're standing, how you're smiling, how you're interacting in the room. That draws that person to you. Same thing in communication, same thing in business. So just remember that and try to really work on your nonverbal signals. Uh, that'll help your spoken word actually be in sync when you're meeting uh, new clients or customers or business partners or business opportunities. It's really important. Practice active listening too is important. You know, you want to practice active listening when people respond to you, right? So active listening just isn't, you know, hearing what someone says. It also involves you showing in engagement and interest in what they're saying. You know, with the discussion by and what you can do is ask questions. It's really important that you ask questions. That shows that you're an active listener. It shows that you are actually you care and you want to know more about what that person is saying, especially if you're trying to, again, is this a business meeting? Is this a sponsorship? Is this someone that you're trying to meet to get to know? You're trying to connect, you're trying to network with? It's very important to be active, uh, when you're talking and listening to someone. Um, Strange thing. Like, do you know uh there's some people out here that just never forget people's names, right? It's probably because they're an active listener. See, if someone comes up to you and has to say, "Hey," or you're talking to them, "Hey," and you were all into the conversation, "Hey, Damon, how you doing? You know, hey, I heard your show on effective communication techniques, and hey, I wanted to talk to you about more details about it. Because some things, that I heard that I tried, and this didn't work or that didn't work. Maybe you can help me." And now, if you and I had this conversation, and then the first thing out of my mouth is, mm, "Yeah, could you remind me? What's your name again?" That means that I did not actively participate in that conversation with that person. that could be terrible for you, because depending on who that person is, that person may be someone that is in a network or part of a network that you've been actively trying to become a part of. So always work towards being an active listener. You have to practice being an active listener. And I say that, sitting here as a show host, a podcast host, and I'm dealing with different people every day. I've been blessed to, whether it be C-suite executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, actors, and entertainers. You have to be active in listening to what they're saying. Because in there, as a host, you want to take out things from what they're saying, and oh, you hear something, man, that's a great question. You take what they're saying to you and you feed it back, because if you hear it as a great question, then the audience that's watching or listening, they may have had hey, wait a minute, Damon, he said such and such. Why did you just skip over that and just go into another question? I wanted him to finish that thought. That's what being an active listener does. You dive in and you participate in the conversation by listening actively. One of the other things that you can do, and what I've come to learn to do, if you have a team, or you're in an organization or whatever it is, I'm blessed. I have my team that really helps me every week. We build out our shows and our conversations. Ask them for feedback. Yeah, and this is one of the most effective and efficient ways to improve your communication. I mean, just ask. Sometimes I'll sit down and ask, like, "Hey guys, what did you feel about that last show?" And they'll give me some real positive and critical feedback. But you needed to grow. You really needed to be able to hone in on becoming more of an effective communicator. And early on, I used to get a lot of things, and sometimes I still do it. It's human. Hey, Dame, too many uhs and ahs, and it's like you're not fluid, or you have to think, or you're thinking about. So processing and preparing information beforehand, it's helpful. Something that I didn't do initially, but it's helped me evolve to become more effective in my craft. It's also helped me in my professional life, sitting and talking with people. It's really come full circle because I've practiced this, I've worked this, and you too can do the same. It's got to put in the time. Same thing like anything else. Anything that you love or you enjoy doing, or you want to get better at, or you want to receive different things, you have to put in the work. And one of the things you can do is just start creating a process, because that's, like I said, what I did. I created a process with my team after every show, started asking for feedback, give me some insight. Also implement an open door policy if you're a business owner, uh, with your employees. So your employees will feel like they can, approach you at any given time with any of their problems, or anything that they may see that's wrong, or not wrong, but different, or very, it deviates from your end goal and your end vision. It's really invaluable, because these are the people that are in it with you every day. It's mission critical to have an open door policy, in my opinion, for you to be successful in your business, in your journey. So work on that. I think you'll find that it pays off for you in the long run. Next tip would be probe for understanding, to confirm that you're being heard, because that's the other part of communication. So you want to be active and listening to others, but you also want to make sure that your message is being heard. So, like I did say before, ask questions. By asking questions, whether it be to your guests, to your team, it also shows how engaged they are in your conversation. You know, are you missing something? Is your delivery off? Is your energy off? It's really important. You want to ask those questions too, because you want to know, is my message being received? Very important. Very, very, very important. Um, and then too, this is a natural opportunity for you again to continue to practice active listening skills. See how all of these things are tying in? There's practice, there's give and take. All of these things, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's very possible. You know, One of the last things you want to use is if you're dealing with any of that, because in conversation and communication, sometimes we do have conflicts, right? There's going to be a conflict sometimes personalities, whatever it may be. Handle your conflicts or negativity respectfully. We don't always agree as teams, as members, family, whatever it is, bosses, subordinates, whatever title you want to use. Even when you don't see everything eye to eye, you want to communicate in the most respectful way possible. By doing that, it helps keep a working relationship a working relationship. At the end of the day, we don't want to burn any bridges. We don't want to burn bridges because it's become personal. We don't want to burn bridges because we misunderstood each other, because we didn't listen, because we didn't hear clearly the other person's viewpoint. So handle it with respect. As a general rule, never say anything in anger you would want to take back once you calm down. Think about that. Don't let anger get the best of you. Because if you say something in anger, then when you calm down, it's too late. You can't take it back. Very important. So I want to end this by, giving you some of the right tools and the ways to use them um, to be effective in communication. We all know these things, whether it be team discussions, group meetings, one-to-one, situation. I just want to follow up really quick. Email is a great tool to use, right? We use it as communication for simple updates and questions. And I think that's the best way to use email. Uh, if you want to address a group discussion or need to address a complex situation that's going on within your organization or your business, um, don't use email, because interpretation by a group is different than one-on-one or just asking for quick updates. And by using email in a large group, I think things will just spiral quickly out of control. Just my point of view, my experience. Um, just use it for simple questions and answers when it comes to email. One-on-one conversations. I think these are great for constructive criticism, like I said before. And it's also good for individual one-on-one training. As business owners, you bring in a new hire. If you're a small business, especially, I think, one-on-one conversations are good when you're trying to get someone up to speed. But I will say they aren't ideal if you need to address things to a team. So if you're a little bit larger, mid-size, or whatever, it's not a good place or a good way to use one-on-one conversations. The message gets lost one-on-one. Interpretation again. I think it's good to provide a simple update again when it's one-on-one conversation, because it's just a short message. Hey, just want to give you a quick update. Hey, tomorrow this is what we're going to do in this segment. Quick, brief, one-on-one. I think that works. Too many people, it gets lost when you try to compound and get into too much. Just make it brief and simple. Another tool, team discussions. Team discussions are typically brief, kind of on the fly type thing. Quick chats. Hey, I just want to get everybody together real quick. So there's going to be a couple of things that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks with segment A or with group B. And I just want to get you guys up to speed. Real quick checklist. A, we're going to move the time to 10 a.m. B, Tony, Jim, I'm going to need you to go ahead and have Dame prep for XYZ. 3, at the close of, I know we normally do, but now we're going to do this. Just real quick, just kind of on the fly, just with a specific goal in mind. Like you're just trying to get through something specifically with one goal in mind. Quick, boom, you're in and out. I would say avoid using these on projects that don't overlap, or to where a large team of attendees are going to be unaffected. So just keep that in mind. Last thing I want to touch on and share group meetings. These are great if you need to train or update the entire group. But I would say use these sparingly. If you're conveying something that can be sent in a short message, do that. But when you do need a group meeting, try to schedule it ahead of time and have a clear agenda. And that's really what group meetings are all about. It has to be a clear agenda with an expected outcome, right? We're going into this clear cut. Expectations are drawn out, and when we walk out, we all know what we're walking out or walking away with. Very important. And really, at the end of that, and at the end of all of this, I hope that you've come to understand that, timing is everything. Whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, solopreneur, small business, entertainment, whatever, timing is everything. You have crunch time, you have deadlines. When someone else is facing a problem at work, they'll have a difficult time hearing anything that you say. So it's important that, try to keep in mind, and this is what I've done, try to determine the time of day and the platform where members of your team, if you have a larger team, are most open to communication. Sometimes you find some people are not morning people. I think most of us aren't. I find like midday, mid-morning to after lunch, people are a little bit more receptive. But again, though, know your environment and kind of use that to kind of plan out some of the things that you're going to talk about in your organization, and use these tips and tools that we've talked about here today. Last but not least, becoming a better communicator, whether you want to move up the ladder or get your project across the finish line, in a nice, smooth, efficient manner, you're going to have to learn to effectively communicate, because that's going to be crucial at the end of the day. So I want you to be able to walk away with these tips and these tools that we've talked about today and implement them slowly, one by one, piece by piece. Implement them into your business, your craft, and what you're doing to grow your business. And I hope that you find that this was helpful. I hope that you find that these tips are useful. And I'd be interested to hear what you have to say, after watching this and taking down some of these tips and use them in your everyday business. So I thank you for taking time out, as always, to sit here, listen to me, enjoy the rest of your day, and continue success to you and all that you do along your business journey. I'm your host, damednydc, host of Two Mics Up. You can follow me on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at damednydc. You can also follow Two Mics Up online, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. And like I always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out. 007.